Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We are talking about some Din Djarin and Grogu Mandalorian spoilers from the Star Wars Legion Din Djarin and Grogu pack. That's right. AMG dropped an article on us last night, and we've got some cool spoilers, reveals, new things to talk about and to look at today. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you're entered to win that giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's going to enter you to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. That's going to be running until next week. Then, on top of that, I want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing Full Metal tokens for compatible with Star Wars Legion, also X-Wing, as well as Arkham, L5R, Keyforge has new stuff coming out. Get your tokens here. Go to luxuryplaystyle.com. They are amazing tokens. They're going to make you want to play your games more. They're gorgeous. They come in different finishes. There's different color options for different command tokens. If you want to get red or blue, or they're fantastic. You're going to love them. Use code Crabbok VIP. You're going to save 15%. So head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. All right, let's talk about Din Djarin and Mando, or Din Djarin and Grogu from Mando. It's primarily based on Mando season 1, but there's little bits more in there. It's pretty cool how like you can see the design that went into this, and then of course with season 2 coming out, it's like, can we fit that spear in there? So like that's also coming, but very, very cool. So all right, we're gonna talk about the unit card himself. Din Djarin can go in both Rebels and Empire, and I want to kind of go back to something I said yesterday in yesterday's video where I was talking about Imperial units, and I did say, oh, the Empire doesn't have much coming. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of grouping Din Djarin in with my Rebel stuff because yes, he can go in the Empire, but he's kind of more of a Rebel from a certain point of view because he gets a little bit of extra stuff if he's on the Rebel side. But yes, he's a merc. He can go in the Empire, or he can go with the Rebels. He's got 2 training, he's got comms, he's got 2 equipment, and of course a weapon. He has the vibro knife built in. He's got a range 1 to 2 blaster pistol. He's got lethal 1, which is good. You're going to want aim tokens. He's got independent to get aim tokens. He's got long shot. You're going to want that. It's also versatile, so if you are engaged, you can still shoot somebody, which is super freaking cool. Really, really like it. He's got Arsenal 2, so he can just straight out the gate, he can move into melee, he can go ahead and stab you, he can shoot somewhere else, he can do that. So he wants to be in close range. He is an up-close and personal fighter, which is a little bit different than you might expect from certain other bounty hunters, because he is a bounty hunter. He has bounty. It makes the first bounty hunter available that the Rebels can use. He also has impervious, as you might expect. He gets a free aim and dodge with independent, so you don't want to issue him orders. And he has tactical 1, so when he's moving, he's also going to get aim tokens. Now, the downside to this is that he doesn't have charge, he doesn't have relentless, he doesn't have steady, so you're going to be stuck, trying to move and shoot with him, or move and attack, considering he's only speed 2 for a Mandalorian, which, I mean, speed 2 is fine, it's good, but a lot of Mandos tend to be speed 3. Now, so it's a little bit of a give and take there. He still seems very strong. He seems like he's very likely to have a move and shoot with 2 aim tokens. However, even if you've got the aim token to give this long shot at a range 3 shot, it's still only 3 dice for a 105-point unit. So you kind of want a little more than that sometimes. Now, he's also very survivable with 5 health, 3 courage, very unlikely to panic, red defense die, surge for defense, and attack for surge to crit. So he's got a lot of things going on for him that are very good here, but he's better if he can get close and right up in your face. Now, he's got some cards that are going to enable him to make this work. So the jetpack is going to increase his speed by 1 and is going to give him jump 2. Now, it's 15 points, so that's an expensive upgrade, but it's going to work really well on Din Djarin. Giving him speed 3 and jump is going to be crucial to the way I think you want to play him as an up-close and personal fighter. We've already seen also the flame projector. Again, great weapon. It's blast, spray, and suppressive. It's only a one shot. He only has enough. He only has a little bit of gasoline. It's a Mandalorian gasoline. He's only got a little bit of it. I don't know why I'm trying to do like a fake Italian thing. It's not Mandalorian at all. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, this was the standard flame projector. But it's only one shot, but it's 8 points. It's not too bad, and and it's also not a weapon. It goes in the equipment slot. So you're like, hey, might as well. I mean, it's still a weapon, right? But it doesn't take the weapon upgrade slot like the Amban rifle does. The Amban rifle is crazy. It's look, it's 10 points. You got this whole double action thing where you can basically, if you're not engaged, you can perform a speed 1 move, then choose an enemy unit in line of sight, roll a red attack die. If the result's a hit or a crit, the chosen unit suffers a wound and gains a suppression. So it's not even a shot. Now, you can use it as a shot. You can, you can melee with it. It's a melee weapon, right? You can roll dice with it if you want. But I think if you're taking this thing, you're probably going to be doing some sniper shots with it. Now let's go back, because that's got three black dice. You can combine that with the vibro knife, and you can roll 5 black dice because you can arsenal 2 if you want to melee with 5 black and surge to crit. That's not half bad. You've got lethal 1 in there. It's not bad. But I think if you want to melee, if you want to be more of a dedicated melee, the Beskar spear is the way to go. Now this is a little more expensive. It's also a 15-point upgrade. This is going to really increase Din Djarin's cost, but it's going to give him 2 red and a black. It's a nice, strong spear. It's going to give him duelist, and that's going to work well with what he's got going on. So duelist is, while you're performing a melee attack, if you spend an aim token, you gain Pierce 1. If you spend a dodge token while defending against the main the melee attack, you're going to get immune to Pierce. Now, if we go back and look at his card with 2 red and a black, now all of a sudden he's got 2 red, 3 black, lethal 1. He's going to have Pierce 1 automatically if he spends the aim, so it's going to make it Pierce 2. All right. If he's Arsenal 2ing, if he's using Arsenal 2 and using the vibro knife and the spear against the same enemy, so he's combining. He's like, now I don't know exactly how you take this giant spear and then also stab with the knife at the same time. Maybe he's got it duct taped to like his forearm, or maybe I don't need to think about it that heavy. Let me know if you have any clever ideas on how exactly you'd use the vibro knife and the spear in the same attack. I think what happens in that case is he really just remembers how he fought with the knife and applies that fighting style to the spear, and really ultra focuses that way to make it even better. I think that's kind of what's going on. But he's gonna have aim and dodge tokens, by the way. He's gonna have aim and dodge tokens anyway, so he's gonna have all that stuff. So it really turns into basically kind of like a lightsaber for him. Right, the dodge token, he'll have it ready to go. He'll be definitely, in the case that he's facing somebody who's got melee pierce, he'll be saving the dodge token for that. He'll be saving it for that Jedi. He can go in there and he's gonna get a pierce 2 by spending an aim token. He'll probably need to roll at least 1 aim, but he's also gonna have surge to crit. It's just, he looks great. The only thing he doesn't really have that a lot of lightsabers have is impact on this, so he's not gonna be that good against vehicles. And I feel like that's kind of for a Beskar spear, I feel like that's okay. Like, I mean, it still could work great against vehicles. Don't get me wrong. He's got surge to crit. He's got 5 dice, and he's gonna have aims, and he's gonna have Pierce 2 on it if he spends an aim token. Because he can just straight up spend the aim token for lethal, right? And so like, yeah, and you probably have 2 aims, and maybe you moved and attacked, right? So I like it. The spear looks good. It doesn't look like it's crazy. Like, I would have initially maybe thought it would have been a little bit more dice than that, like maybe like a 4th die, but like, yeah, 5 dice is good. 5 dice is good. It's nice, especially when we see what his command cards are. Now, we do get some new looking command cards. These are cool. We've already seen Whistling Birds, but I'll talk about it anyway because that's our first one. It's our 3-pip, and it's so good. So good. During his activation, Din Djarin gains an action. Choose up to 3 enemy units at range 1 and in line of sight. For each chosen unit, roll 1 white attack die for each mini in the unit, and they suffer a wound for every ink. So, so you're gonna get some damage on a lot of folks. So this is something great for if he wants to dive right in the middle of everybody. That's where he wants to be anyway. He wants to be up close and personal. He's gonna be up close and personal. He gets to play this. By the way, it's a single action, so he can still potentially attack. So I like that. So again, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's super fun. I like those odds. This is a really good one. It's, again, from early season 1. Din Djarin 2-pip. It's only Din Djarin again, so all of his are only himself. Din Djarin gains an aim token. After Din Djarin performs an attack action, he may perform an additional attack against a different unit. This is incredible. By the way, I really want to run him in the Empire now with Palpatine when I run this card. Oh, man. Like honestly, I'm thinking about Palpatine pulling the strings on Din Djarin, and I'm like, oh, brum, brum, doing some good stuff like that. It's kind of like Gunslinger. The thing is, if you have, you can range. Now, what makes this like a little bit not so crazy is that he doesn't have like a good, strong secondary ranged weapon to attack. All right, he could potentially do this once ranged, and then also maybe have the flamethrower, but then the flamethrower is going to be gone, and then he's not, like, you pull the strings, it's not going to be quite as crazy. But pulling the strings would work really good if he's like engaged in melee, but then also wants to shoot out, and then engaged in melee, and then wants to shoot out again. Like, I could see cases for it, but it'd be really, really fun to do that. And also the thematics behind it. Like, how would Din Djarin react under the Emperor's direct influence? That's what I'm thinking for running this in the Empire. Either way, like, even with Rebels, though, it kind of treats it, it's kind of like having Gunslinger, but if you're up close, especially if you're, if you're engaged in more than one unit, or if you were just able to, I think it'd be weird to have him engage with more than one unit, but maybe that's what they'll try to do to stop him. And I think I think the threat of this card is to say, like, don't even think about putting more than one unit to try to tie me up, because I can kill them both. I think that's the scare and the risk of something like this. Looks really cool. And the other thing that's kind of cool about this is, like, if you take out those 2 units and everybody else nearby, in the next turn you play Whistling Birds, or maybe you play Whistling Birds first, and then whoever's left just is like, well, let me go ahead and try to engage and tie him up so he doesn't get to whoever he's got the bounty on, and he's just like, no, I'll kill everybody in my way to get to that bounty. Then he's gotten his 1-pip. This is the way. This one's not as flashy, but it's good. It's solid and good. It's a 1-pip. It gains a dodge token, and it gains Relentless. That's it. That's all it is. But Relentless is really good on him. It's really good on him. This is, especially if he's got that jetpack. Now he's got speed 3, Relentless. I like it. With Arsenal 2. That's like him going in for the kill. By the way, candidate for best art ever, right? Or best art in a while. Maybe not ever, but like, I love the look, the way they have the helmet kind of downward like that. He's going in. He's like, no, this is the way. I love the art on that card. Really, really good 1-pip. It's just solid. I love it. So pretty cool command cards. I think Whistling Birds is probably my favorite, although This is the way is probably going to be stapled onto them. I like those odds. I think it'll be more situational. But I think the fact that it exists is going to, even if you don't bring it, people are going to not know if you have it or not, and that's pretty scary. I want to talk about Grogu a little bit. He is the option that you can. They had said that you could bring him if he was Rebels, and initially in the preview there was nothing indicating that he was Rebels, but we do now have an update to the Grogu card in the top right. You do see a little Rebel insignia there. So, and of course the lack of an Imperial insignia. So you do have something on the card now that's telling you specifically, hey, Grogu can only go if he's on the Rebels. So if you're running Imperial Din Djarin, no Grogu. So that's good, because I wasn't sure. Every once in a while, you're not sure if something is like inaccurate, or if they got information slightly wrong, or if the card just didn't have the symbol. So it's good to see that it's updated there. Now this is coming out. October 21st is currently the street date for it, so I'll be doing an unboxing, and we'll see if which version of this card ends up in the box, because sometimes, when they make little adjustments late, sometimes they don't always end up that way. So if you guys get it before I do, definitely check the Grogu card and see if it has that. Either way, this is how it's supposed to be, so this is how it'll have to be played. He's going to be a counterpart for Din Djarin, so he's going to be attached to the Din Djarin unit. He's going to have his own little mini. He's going to have only 1 health. 17 points, so really expensive single health upgrade for Din Djarin. And he's got Hunted, but he's small, so you don't have to worry about somebody just kind of sniping him out there. But Hunted is the problem. right? Because if Grogu is defeated, you replace his mini with an unclaimed asset token, and he can never be restored. Each trooper in the game, yours and your opponent's, gain the ability to claim him. And at the end of the game, if an enemy has claimed the asset token, units controlling player gains a victory token. So basically, Hunted is only bad for you. It's only bad for you. It means your opponent can get a victory point off of him. It's pretty rough. You might be able to stop them, but since Din Djarin wants to be up close and personal and very melee focused anyway, they're probably not going to steal Grogu off of you. So why would you bring him? Well, there's two reasons. One is going to be for the latent power. At the end of your activation, you may gain a suppression token to roll a red die. If it's a surge, then you get to choose an enemy unit at range 1 of this mini. The chosen unit gains 2 suppression and 2 immobilized tokens. So that's really cool. Immobilizes are a pain in the butt, too. We've been seeing more immobilized lately, and it's a good reminder that you don't want immobilized tokens on your unit. This game is very, very much about movement, especially somebody who's trying to pick up this, this unit, or trying to run from Mando, perhaps. But if it's a blank result, you get to remove a wound or poison token from a friendly non-droid trooper at range 1 of this mini, which can be yourself, right? He can heal Din, basically, or somebody else. And so I think that's pretty cool. You got a 50-50 shot of him doing something. Problem is, he has to be, to really make this work, you kind of have to be either wounded or at close range of enemy units, which is where Din wants to be, but that also puts you at the biggest risk of losing him to the hunted condition. He's also small, which means that your person, they can't target him directly, and basically, it's almost like he's not really there. But you also don't get to count him as like, oh, well, Grogu's hidden, so I have heavy cover while I'm standing out here in the open. You also don't get to do that either. So why do you want to bring this guy? I said there's one reason. It's maybe for the latent power. There's another reason I think is it also might be thematics too. But the other reason is they described this card before. It's a 2-pip. Cannot be played as a command card. It's called, they called it the hand thing, which is it's just funny. It says it cannot be selected during the command phase. When a friendly unit at range 1 and in line of sight of Grogu is declared as the defender against a ranged attack, you may discard this card from your hand. If you do, the defending unit gains 2 dodge tokens and gains deflect during this attack. So you can potentially put this on Mando or anyone else. Deflect, and having the option of just like, oh, I've got deflect. You might just bring Grogu and not bring this card, but people are going to be afraid to shoot. They're like, whoa, I don't want to really do a big, like, do I throw this massive, like, fire-supported Z6 crazy big dice pool at you? I'm like, yeah, do it. I might have some deflection for you. Like the mind games that this expansion is bringing with cards like this are pretty cool. And I think that's significant, because not knowing what your opponent's going to have to play in their hand, especially with a card that's not even there to be played. Like this is going to add even more mind games to when you do that turn 1 standing orders, right? So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's exciting, and I still probably won't take Grogu. But maybe, I don't think he's great, but I don't think he has to be great. I think that's my takeaway, right? I don't think he has to be great to be worthwhile. I'll still run him a couple of times, probably for fun, but I don't think I would take him in a seriously competitive list. But not all the games that I play are competitive. Sometimes I run just fun stuff, like my 7 Sabers list, even though I did bring it to a tournament. But it was more of a, like, this is going to be a fun list to run. And I think that's important to put lists together that are going to be fun. I think if you want to be more competitive with Din Djarin, you probably run him by himself. And, either in the Rebels or in the Empire. But I think if you want him to kind of have a good time and, like, you know what, it's game night with my boy, let's bring him to the table too. Then you can bring Grogu to the table. I don't know, but maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he's worth it just for the extra hit point, so that you can get your bounty. Maybe you can coax your opponent to a certain part. Maybe there's even more mind games. It's like, you want to come pick up the child? I know you want to come over here. It's over here. You have to come over here to pick it up. I know you want it. Maybe that mind game is worth it. All right. I love the mind games that go into a lot of tabletop gaming. It's especially when you can look your opponent in the eye and be like, come and get it. I want you to come get it. You know, I don't know. That's what she said. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later. I want to thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will talk to you soon. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. This is the way. Goodbye there.